What would you do if you woke up as the most useless noble in a fantasy world? You're listening to Novel Readerer. Today, the greatest estate developer. Chapter 2, Part 1. The inside of the tavern was a complete disaster. Broken tables and chairs were strewn about, with shattered plates littering the floor. Wow, I really made a mess of things, Lloyd thought, clicking his tongue in disapproval. His gaze landed on the tavern owner, who was miserably cleaning up the mess. "You're here, my lord?" The bald man who had been tidying up wore a bitter expression. The moment he saw Lloyd, his face went pale. For a brief second, anger flashed across his features, but it quickly disappeared. In its place, an awkward smile took over. One of those forced smiles from a weak man trying to survive. Considering what happened last night, it must feel like his blood is boiling, Lloyd thought. But the tavern owner couldn't even show it. Watching this, Lloyd couldn't help but feel a bit bitter. It reminded him of his past. There were so many difficult customers back when I worked part-time at the bar. Suho had taken on various part-time jobs to make ends meet. One of them was at a pub, where he had encountered all kinds of customers, including plenty of problematic ones. There were those who spoke rudely and cursed at the employees just because they were drunk. Others would flip tables or break bottles for the smallest reasons, whether they thought the drinks were overpriced, the food wasn't to their liking, or the staff wasn't polite enough. Some even waved broken bottles and shouted for the owner to come out. Sigh. Remembering those times, Lloyd let out a heavy sigh. Back then, Suho had been the powerless part-timer, unable to fight back against customers who had all the power. Whenever those difficult customers left, he had to swallow his frustration and just endure. Let's not dwell on the past. It was a painful memory. Still, it allowed Lloyd to deeply empathize with the tavern owner's feelings now. Even though it wasn't Lloyd who had caused the chaos last night, the body's former owner had. So, with a sincere heart, Lloyd approached the tavern owner and apologized. "I came to apologize for last night." "What?" "It was my fault. I should have just enjoyed my drink peacefully, but instead I caused a huge mess. I won't make excuses. It was clearly my mistake." Lloyd's words were genuine. However, they seemed to confuse the tavern owner even more. My lord, why are you acting this way?" The tavern owner's face, already pale, turned blue with fear. He looked like he was facing death itself. "My lord, was the chaos from last night not enough for you? Please tell me if I did something wrong." "No, Why are you speaking so formally? It's even scarier when you do that." It seemed Lloyd's body had left a deep impression on the townspeople, and not in a good way. He clicked his tongue in frustration. "Would it be better if I spoke more casually then?" Yes, of course." "All right, so will you accept my apology now?" "And I was thinking about compensating you for the damages from last night." "Are you serious? Has this guy been scammed his whole life or what?" Lloyd couldn't help but shake his head. "Of course I'm serious. In exchange for the damages, how about I build you an Ondal room?" "A what?" "A room with heated floors. You've never heard of it?" "I know of placing heated stones and pouring water over them. That's a steam bath, not Ondal. I'm talking about a system that heats the entire floor. You really don't know?" As expected, the tavern owner, like Javier earlier, looked completely clueless. "Good. This plan might actually work." Lloyd licked his lips and pressed on. "That's too bad. Ondal would be perfect for your mother." "My mother?" "I heard she's not feeling well these days." "Oh yes. She hasn't been well. That's why I'm recommending Ondal. It keeps the floor nice and warm. You won't even need a bed. You can lie on the heated floor and warm your body all day. It's much better than a sauna." He's starting to crack. The tavern owner's eyes were beginning to waver. Lloyd could see the moment of hesitation when he mentioned the elderly. In the cold winter, when your body feels a chill, or for older folks with aching joints, this is perfect. perfect for someone like my mother? Of course. After all, elderly people love lying on a warm floor. And you're really going to give me something like that? I'm going to build it for you. You're going to build it? Yes. You don't believe me? Well, of course you don't. You're probably wondering what kind of scam I'm trying to pull. You're thinking, what does this guy even know about Ondal, and is Ondal even real? But at the same time, it sounds appealing because of your mother, right? Then let's draw up a contract. A contract? Yeah, a contract for the construction. Whoa, wait. Go get some paper and a pen. The tavern owner still looked confused, but he obediently brought Lloyd the paper and pen. With practiced ease, Lloyd began drafting a contract on the spot. Well, I'm the one making the template, so I can set it up how I want. The tavern owner would be the client, Lloyd the contractor, and the construction site would be the vacant land behind the tavern. As for the payment, let's do it like this. I'll waive the damages from last night in exchange for the cost of building the Ondal room. How does that sound? You'll build me this Ondal room instead of compensating me for the broken furniture? That's right. Lloyd nodded. In reality, the Frontera barony was drowning in debt. Even the money to pay for the tavern's damages was scarce. But if this project went well, I'll turn the potential losses from the compensation into something much more valuable. It wouldn't just cover the damages. If things went according to plan, it could snowball into an even bigger profit. That was the grand vision Lloyd had in mind. After all, this is what I'm best at. Suho had been a civil engineering student. He had studied hard. Not because he had grand dreams, but because he wanted a stable job and tried to keep his grades up. Now it seemed that all the knowledge he had accumulated could be put to practical use in this world. In the end, big money comes from construction projects. Whether it's apartments, bridges, roads, or dams, building things generates income, and construction companies in particular make a fortune. Lloyd was starting to see the potential. So, what do you say? Shall we sign the contract? You're really going to build it? I said I would. Don't you want it? It's not that I don't want it. After some hesitation, the tavern owner finally signed the Ondal room construction contract. Kim Suho, the civil engineering student from South Korea, now Lloyd Frontera, eldest son of the Frontera barony, had secured his first contract in this unfamiliar world. It was small, but it was a start. The first step toward his ambitious construction project had begun. He's an honest and desperate man. It had been about a minute since they left the tavern when Javier's voice suddenly broke the silence. What do you mean? Lloyd asked, turning to face him. Javier's face was as expressionless as ever. If anything, the air around him seemed even colder than usual. When a person is desperate, their judgment becomes clouded. They lose sight of their situation and become vulnerable. Such people become easy prey for those with ill intentions. Prey? Yes. So you're saying the tavern owner is the prey, and I'm the predator? Whether you are ill-intentioned or not depends on the actions you take from now on, Lord Lloyd. Hey. Lloyd finally understood why the atmosphere felt colder than usual. Do you seriously think I'm planning to scam the tavern owner? I wouldn't go that far, but... Then what? I believe you are taking advantage of a weak person situation. That's basically the same thing. Lloyd let out a deep sigh. Ever since he had been thrown into this body, misunderstandings seemed to follow him everywhere.